Welcome to the SciFi Pubcast. Come for a drink, but stay for the speculation. On this episode, we explore the 1982 film Blade Runner, its legacy, and the forthcoming sequel, Blade Runner 2049, opening October 6, 2017. It's a film noir of episodes, with a dash of flying cars and a hint of sex robots. No other podcast replicate a Blade Runner discussion like we do, so have a drink and relax. You'll need it. This is the SciFi Pubcast. Greetings, welcome to the SciFi Pubcast, the podcast that tries to be a pub and a pub that tries to be a podcast. On today's episode, we're talking Blade Runner, its legacy, and the forthcoming movie Blade Runner 2049. What do you guys think about that? Because I'm joined with my staff today, Carrie and Derek.
Excited.
Hey guys.
Great, you can tell they're excited. Let me start off this. So Derek, how's the kitchen in the back doing?
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Grease pans on fire without the sprinklers coming on. I've watched sea roaches glitter in the dark before I turn on the lights. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain. Time to fry some expired beef.
You're closing the kitchen early today, right, Joel?
Oh my god, I think he's discovered Blake. Okay.
None of his calls to the health inspectors I placed hasn't gone the way it probably should have.
That's because I registered us with a false address. They keep going to the wrong place.
Right, at least you can tell Derek's a bit of a Blade Runner's fan. So
yeah, sure.
So Blade Runner, it's a small little film. Let's see. You got to be of a certain vintage to really appreciate Blade Runner because it's such an influential film. It's from 1982 is when it came out, and it came out about 5 weeks after E.T. So it was competing with E.T. at the box office. So it didn't do great at the box office, but it caught on in pulp culture. And it became this movie that people look to as one of the best sci-fi films ever created. Director, of course, is Ridley Scott. Screenplays by Hampton Fancher and David Peoples. And Fancher is involved with the Blade Runner 2049, the forthcoming movie that's opening October 6, 2017, which really is October 5th when it hits most of the theaters.
Sure, if you cheat.
Yeah, cheat. What, going on a Thursday showing? Is that cheating?
Yeah.
God, I cheated a lot then. That's not good.
Oh well.
So, Carrie, how's things in your world? I should ask you about your life because that's the friendly pub thing to do.
Not bad. I've been hanging out with my best friend all day. They said the world was supposed to end today. I figured, if the world's going to end, I should, hang out with the bestie and watch a few movies. Have some lunch, watch the whole world burn.
Oh, that's today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently, this thing with what Planet X or what I have no idea what today's end of the world scenario is supposed to be.
Is that tomorrow or the next day? I get these end of the world days confused.
It was supposed to be the 23rd, which would be today.
Just my luck. The day before I go to Disney World.
Think of the money you'll save, Derek.
Yeah, the gods don't want you going to Disney World.
Actually, I think the trip's already paid for, so money lost.
Oh, God.
But if the world ends, you're not going to care.
Yes, but my final thought will be, my money!
Yeah, you would. That would be your final thought.
Okay, before we get into the whole Blade Runner business, so Derek, Disney World, what are you most looking forward to seeing?
I will be seeing Pandora for the very first time, which is the world of Avatar, the movie, not the animated series. And I cannot wait to be transported to another world with complete immersion.
Don't you do this like every day?
Yeah, but that's Derek World. This is someone else's world.
Lovely.
I don't want to be anywhere near Derek World.
Are you hitting the one park, or are you going to hit all three of them? Hey, 3 parks, right?
I'll be there a whole week. I'll be going to all 4 parks.
You always get the 4. So it's Disney Hollywood Studios. You have Epcot, you have Magic Kingdom, and you have
Animal Kingdom, which is where Pandora is.
Right. Now, I was just there in April. I should have remembered this, but oh well. Yeah. I get to go to Disneyland in February, by the sounds of it, so I'm quite excited about that. It's been a couple of years.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They have a lot of rides there that are not at Disney World, like the Radiator Springs Racers in the Cars Land, which is just amazing. It's another one of those completely detailed, immersive lands where you just transported somewhere else. And the ride is a lot of fun, too.
At Disneyland?
Yes. No. Well, California Adventure.
California Adventure,
Yeah.
That's the other park.
And Disneyland has the Indiana Jones and the Forbidden Temple ride, which is great.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Although it was more fun when because they only have the one. They don't shift tracks anymore. It's just the one track now. But I think they still have the 3 different possible endings.
Now they do use the same ride device and track system for Dinosaur in Animal Kingdom, but I vastly prefer the Indiana Jones, theming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've heard rumors through all the podcasts that they may actually rebrand that dinosaur ride in Animal Kingdom to a Disney Indiana Jones ride. So
Yeah, I've heard that. I hope so.
yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah. I've been known to hiss back at the ginormous snake in the Indiana Jones ride.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're in California. I was wondering what we were talking about.
Listen,
Yes, I am very, very far away from you, which is how I like it.
Oh, lovely. I can personally say I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. It's just one of the series that I grew up as a kid, and it's Harrison Ford.
Oh yeah.
You know what other movie has Harrison Ford in?
Sabrina.
No.
Star Wars.
Barney Henry.
Yeah, okay, yes, Star Wars. What else?
Patriot Games.
Yeah, you played Jack Ryan. Sure, yeah. But
The Devil's Own.
think of a science fiction film noir, highly influential on the whole science fiction genre and on film itself.
Was it one we were just talking about 5 minutes ago?
Yes.
What's something to do with cutlery?
This is the worst segue.
Now I'm just messing with you.
Now, what is he? He smuggles knives across the border or something? That's why they call him Blade Runner?
That's quite sharp on you, Derek. In lore talk, that would be sharp practice. Okay.
Dear God.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm very sorry I started us off on this tangent, Joel.
Yeah, so we're leaving Disney behind because Disney is nice and family friendly, and we are going to talk about Blade Runner, which is not particularly family friendly. And in regards to spoilers, the film came out in 1982, so we are going to talk about details of the film. So it's been out for maybe, 30, 40 years. Yeah, perhaps it's time to actually talk details.
You had your chance.
Yeah, we're like that at the SciFi Pubcast. As for
I don't know. One of the podcasts I listened to, they spoiled Dune for someone who's been listening, and Dune's been out for, the book has been out for 40, 50 years now?
Yeah, and of course, my favorite movie, the 1984 David Lynch version, which is affected me because I was 10 years old when I saw it, and I remember going to the good old Seneca Cinema in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, watching it. And it was a long movie. My mom wasn't happy when she picked me up with my friends and had to wait an hour in the lobby waiting for us. But man, that was a great movie. But I digress. As for spoilers for the new movie, Blade Runner 2049, well, we haven't seen it, so we can't really spoil much. There are some details.
I don't know anything about it. I saw the first teaser, and I didn't even watch the trailers after that because I didn't want to know.
Yeah,
I think I saw the last full trailer, but I haven't seen any of the TV spots or anything.
I've been reading up on it, and it looks really great. And I will talk about Blade Runner 2049 later in the episode. We may mention characters' names, and of course, it's going to be sharing a lot of the same themes that's from the original Blade Runner from 1982.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Blade Runner, the one from 1982, the original. What is this film all about? Okay, I got a little shtick here. I'm going to find my DVD player remote thing. I'm going to read the narrative of the final cut version from 1982 to give our customers some idea what this film's all about if they haven't seen the film. You guys ready for this?
You have to go looking for the DVD, or you have?
I have it.
DVD?
I just have to hit play, and
Okay.
there's going to be music, and I'm going to read it in my best Harrison Ford or voice, or my Hollywood voice, because I'm so Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Play. Volume. Early in the 21st century, the Tyrell Corporation advanced robot evolution to the Nexus phase, a being virtually identical to a human, known as a replicant. Nexus 6 replicants were superior in strength and agility, and at least equal to in intelligence, to the genetic engineers who created them. Replicants were used off-world as slave labor in the hazardous exploration and colonization of other planets. After a bloody mutiny by a Nexus 6 combat team in an off-world colony, replicants were declared illegal on Earth, under penalty of death. Special police squads, Blade Runner units, had orders to shoot to kill upon detection any trespassing replicant. This was not called execution. It was called retirement. L.A., Los Angeles, November 2019.
That's like 2 years from now.
The distant future.
Yes, yes.
World of traveling to other planets and flying cars.
Yes,
And
Yeah.
lifelike androids.
Yeah, I am suddenly very disappointed. Like, although LA is much cleaner than right now than Blade Runner 2000 shows 2019 to be,
Yeah, so it's been...
which is a good thing because I like breathing.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years since I've been to that area. I was in Anaheim in 2015 for a Star Wars Celebration. But have you guys got spinners, like flying cars yet?
You're funny.
Well, you have electric cars, right?
Yes, we do have electric cars.
I know California leads the whole in terms of environment protection on vehicles. The California
Yes.
standard.
Yes.
Very important.
As California goes, so goes the rest of the country. We hope.
Excellent. All right. Yeah, flying cars. This is even better than the Jetsons. Okay,
Yes.
let me go off on a rant here. Ever since I was a kid, I'm expecting to get some sort of flying cars. Where is the technology? I can buy an iPhone for $1,000 and it can do whatever, but it can't be a flying car. Yeah, the closest thing we have is helicopters, and they're not, they're just too bladey.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Well, I guess, it's technology we haven't quite figured out yet. In the meantime, we do have the electric cars. The Teslas I've seen around the city look amazing, and they're really quiet. If I had a way to run an extension cord up to my apartment, I would totally want one. But I would probably short out all the electric wiring in here.
Yeah. No, just...
Yeah. Unfortunately, my building is not equipped for electric cars yet.
Kevin Smith actually did a really funny short film called Flying Car with the Clerks characters. It's probably on YouTube or something, but it's Dante and Randall stuck in traffic, and Randall's going off on this huge rant about why they don't have flying cars, and they were promised them as kids.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the second Back to the Future, the flying cars really didn't help with traffic. It just made things worse.
Unless you get out of the lane.
Yeah,
which is a lot easier now with 3 dimensions.
Yeah, no, it's basically all self-driving, so it's going to be, it's a science. It's just computers and figure things out and programming. It'll be completely safe.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see anything going wrong whatsoever. So.
Yeah, nothing whatsoever. Let me just make sure Skynet's turned off before we go any farther with that.
Yeah. Right. Blade Runner. Ridley Scott, starring Harrison Ford. And forgive me if I mispronounce any names. I have a bit of a speech impediment, and I'll be using that excuse a lot in podcasting. So Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer. I think he's
Rutger Hauer.
What is he? He's Danish or Swedish?
Something like that.
He's Dutch. Dutch. Sorry. Forgive me, all the Dutch people out there. Great respect for the Dutch. Sean Young, who I had a crush on when I was younger. Carrie Fisher doesn't compare to Sean Young. Well, maybe a bit. Edward James Olmos. That's how you say it, Carrie?
Yes.
Okay.
Almost.
Great. Now I'm butchering Spanish. Lovely. Who's
Derek? Don't try to help with the Spanish.
Lo siento.
God. He's well known for the reimage Battlestar Galactica, which was highly influenced by the Blade Runner texture, the feel, the neo-noir science fiction. Mm-hmm. So there's a bunch of others, but Harrison Ford was amazing in this movie. Yeah, the thing with Harrison Ford as an actor, it's his face, it's his facial reactions, or the way he can manipulate his facial muscles to portray emotions, like from disbelief to being stunned to being in pain. He's such a great comedic actor that way. Mm-hmm.
And if you see what he's like in real life interviews, he really is a good actor to actually be charming and personable in movies.
Because he's not in real life. You're saying that. He's probably okay. Honestly, if you're a method actor or you spend your entire life, pretending to be other people, are you going to be very happy in your own life? Probably not so much.
It depends. I have friends who are actors, and they seem to be pretty happy most of the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a personality thing.
Mm-hmm. So, Blade Runner, do you know was based off of a novel?
I do.
Wow.
I didn't.
I actually thought of looking for the novel and attempting to read it before the podcast, but I'm in the middle of another book right now.
Yeah, I thought about it too, but the novel was like 210 pages, I think. It came out in 1968 by Philip K. Dick, who also did
that's right.
What's it? The American alternate history, Castle on High Hill.
He did Minority Report. He did
The Man in High Castle. Yes.
Man in the High Castle. Yeah.
He passed away around the same time the movie came out. And actually, I read somewhere, because of course I can't remember my source. He actually saw a rough cut of the Blade Runner movie before he died. He actually quite liked it. So. So that was good to see.
That's good. Because writers don't always like film interpretations of their movies.
Especially if you're Alan Moore.
Yes.
We should mention the name of the novel. It's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Mm-hmm. Which is a very...
Do they?
I'm not sure. Do you dream of electric sheep, Derek? Wait, don't answer that.
I don't want to know the
about
answer.
sheep are between me and me.
Yes.
I don't want to know anything about Derek's dreams, sheep related or otherwise. I've seen too much of what he posts in Slack to want to know anymore.
Yeah.
So I have a question. What does Blade Runner mean, the title? Like, what blade are they running? Like, why do they call the hunters Blade Runners?
I don't know. I think in reading to it, they're destroying machines. So how do you destroy a machine? You run a blade over it, like a hacksaw, that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's just one theory. Blade Runner, probably alludes to being an assassin or a hitman. The blade in the back thing.
Because when I hear Blade Runner, I kind of think of roller skates, like they're going around on like rollerblades.
Yeah, but rollerblades didn't exist in the 80s, so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Wait.
Are you serious?
No, rollerblades. You have like derbies, rollerblade derbies. It wasn't the blade skates. It was the little spinny circle things. Wheels.
And plus,
Yeah,
what about
but-
Starlight Express? That was in the 80s.
Oh, and
Yeah, but that was on roller skates, not blades.
Oh, I
right.
see.
Oh, wait, what's Rollerball? That was a sci-fi movie that came out in the 70s, and they did really
Oh, yeah.
Also on roller skates.
yeah. Also on roll, and they did a bad
The remake, I think, is on blades.
Really, I haven't actually seen it. There you go.
Me neither.
I did when it came out.
Oh.
It wasn't, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. Which probably means a normal person would hate it.
Right. So Blade Runner. So Harrison Ford plays Rick Deckard. So it's film noir. So you have this detective cop type person. In this case, he's a Blade Runner, so he's more of an assassin than a law enforcement officer per se.
He's a specialty.
Yeah, actually, he's law enforcement.
a
It's just that the law
specialty.
enforcement, the law itself is to go out and retire, to use the correct term, these replicants. And of course, I'm going to go off about the lighting in this film and the use of colors and like the black, the shades. It's amazing the imagery of this film, but it just lends itself to the whole noir business, right out of the 1920s, 30s, 40s. It's like Casablanca meeting Star Wars. I love that. And so there's a bunch of replicants out there. I think there's 4 of them in total. And they're on the escape. They're just trying to figure out, hey, how can we escape from the authorities? But there's a hitch, and there's a really serious hitch with these replicants, because they find out through the movie, through the plot, that there's a best before date. They're programmed to die after a certain period of time. It's a fail-safe, but that's designed by the engineers who created them. So imagine if you're an AI, so artificial intelligence, and you're an android, you're a robot per se, but you almost feel human. You feel pain, and you feel your own mortality because you know you are going to die. But more than that, you may die in a minute, or in an hour, or in a day. You do not know. But you're going to die sooner rather than later because it's programmed into your very DNA. I mean, DNA may not be the correct term, but your body.
Well, how is that any different from a human? I mean, we're all programmed to die. We're all going to die eventually. We don't. I mean, we could die tomorrow. Any one of us could die tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely, and that's why Blade Runner is such a great movie, because it compares and contrasts the existential questions that we as mortal humans have with androids.
I suppose the difference is this: if the replicants didn't have that fail-safe programmed in, they could probably live until all of their gears ran out and stopped functioning, or they could find ways to repair themselves, or
I'll go to a cosmetic.
Their parts.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I'll go to a cosmetics surgeon and have a nose job.
Yeah.
Well, there's a huge difference between knowing that you'll die one day and knowing that you're going to die at this precise time. That's actually what my published novel is about. It's a Wonderful Death. It's about a bad guy who can look at you and forecast when and how you die, and he kind of uses that to blackmail and control people.
Well, it's kind of like what happened with Sheridan at the end of the last two seasons in Babylon 5. They said he only had 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
And then that's it. It's like 20 years after he came back from Zahadum, he died.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah, but the flip side with
Also, Babylon 5 came out in the 90s. So again, if you haven't seen it by now, sorry.
But everyone should, because it's the greatest television series ever made.
Yeah, and just
Agreed.
and speaking of which, Babylon's been around for several thousand years. At least it was before it got destroyed. This is old, classic history stuff. So
That was the first one, Joel. This is the fifth one.
Oh, right. Okay. So. But the flip side of the whole mentality business with these replicants or androids is, of course, the whole relationship. Are they human? They're not human. But can they feel love? Can they feel hate? Can they feel all the emotions that humans can? And this is one of the central themes of Blade Runner. And you see that in the relationship between Deckard and, of course, Rachel, which is a replicant who's specially programmed, who's friendly, who's played by Sean Young, who's gorgeous, who doesn't know how to react, and she plays the love interest of Deckard, and she doesn't know how to express certain emotions because she's a replicant, and she just found out she's a replicant. Now, talking about existential crisis.
And if you choose to interpret it that way, Deckard is also a replicant, and he also is.
Yeah, that's one of the big mysteries of the original Blade Runner, and hopefully we get an answer to that question in Blade Runner 2049.
Well, I don't know.
No, go ahead,
Gary.
No, actually, they were one of the other podcasts I listened to. They were actually discussing this, because they were talking about the Star Trek Next Generation episode Inheritance, where Data meets his mom, and it's like the only reason his mom acts human is because she doesn't realize that she's an android. And Data always says that he doesn't have emotions and he's just an android. Well, for all intents and purposes, he's probably just as human as everyone else. He's just a machine. The only reason he says he can't feel anything is because he doesn't allow himself to. If he was the one who thought he was the human, then he could probably express all range of emotions and not know the difference. So it's kind of a similar concept.
Yeah, and it goes to some current theories, and I'm not sure if I buy into them personally, but we humans in today's reality, we're just caught up in some sort of program. What's our real existence? Do we feel pain and all the emotions under the sun simply because we're programmed to? This is really Matrix type stuff. And
you could look at it as like someone who a sociopath doesn't have the mental programming to feel emotions the same way a quote unquote normal human would.
Yeah, that's true. Man, this is good stuff. But let's talk about sex and sex robots. No, okay, no. So with the whole thing with the good and the bad.
Are you sure you want me talking about this with Derek in the room?
Not particularly, but it has to be mentioned because it's in the film.
Now, is this something you can buy on Amazon or?
No, Derek.
Actually, there's been some articles on the news recently.
Stop now.
No, the whole thing about pleasure models, I think is the phrase they used in the Blade Runner. But the slabs of meat or plastic, like Zura, which plays one of the replicants who, spoiler alert, Deckard kills in a great scene, a fight scene on the street. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing: can you have sex with a replicant, and is that okay? I'm not going to put a judgment on it right now, but this is stuff that's still being seen in today's pop culture, and like Westworld. And Westworld has been around for 40 years, the original one.
Not even Westworld. They were doing it. This the first episode of Next Gen. They addressed.
Oh,
this.
Right, with Data and what's her the one security officer?
Troy, not Troy. Tasha Yar.
Yeah, who as a character I really disliked.
He's fully functional and anatomically correct. So.
Oh my.
So excuse me while I quote Voltaire.
Oh God.
If you haven't listened to the Band on Vulcan EP, you really need to. Just don't listen to it at work.
Yeah. Right. Another thing is androids and robots. It's part of science fiction. It goes way back, right? I think robot is a Czech word from some novel. I can look it up, but actually, it's neat. Google origins of the word robot, and it's really cool where it came from. It's like surf out of like I think Czech Republic or maybe Yugoslavia. That's what it means. And you have films, like I'll say best, but the original, my God, this is science fiction. What a great genre movie of 1927, Fritz Lang's Metropolis. Metropolis.
Metropolis?
Thank you. Yeah, speech impediment. And you see a lot of stuff that's actually very similar to Blade Runner in terms of the headquarters of the Tyrell Corporation being a pyramid. And you have all the riffraffs, all the serfs, all the plebes or proletariat, whatever word you want to use, living below that in a pyramid structure. There was a Metropolis film as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that.
I haven't. I know I haven't. I've seen the. I know what I know. I know the robots because everyone knows what the robots look like.
Yeah,
yeah.
Speaking of which, this is great because I can talk about George Lucas and the main robot in. How do you say this word? Metropolis.
Metropolis
is on record saying that it is highly influential on the design of C-3PO.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. Right. But really, robots and androids are one thing. I still want my flying car. And
don't we are or my jetpack?
Yeah. Oh, a jetpack.
They have jetpacks. They'll just kill you.
You know what? Screw the jetpacks and the flying cars. I just want to be able to transport myself to and from that would save me, tons of time and money.
What's really cool is you have flying cars in Blade Runner, but you got flying blimps with flying billboards. The cityscape is just out of this world, but it's not. It's like
you
our
have
own
that
world.
now.
Yeah,
like the Goodyear blimp flies over the Rose Bowl every year.
Yeah, but
with advertisements and stuff.
Yeah, but it's like it's on steroids and everything's so confined.
Okay, yeah, true.
And the production values of this movie really hold up well too, because I just watched it a few days ago, and I mean you can tell that it's model work, but it looks legitimate. It looks good.
Yeah.
I've been listening to the commentaries on the final version, and there's like 18 different versions of this, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But you have Ridley Scott describing it, and the film was made, according to Scott, it was made for kind of the middle of the road of how much a movie was being made for, and actually, I think he said 50 million, something like that. So it's other movies had greater budgets. So a lot of the ways they filmed the movie, they had no choice in order to keep the costs down. So a lot of the buildings, a lot of the sets were reused over and over again, just from different angles. I really should have filmed.
That makes sense. That actually makes sense.
Yeah.
And you can do a lot with the dress. You can do a lot to redress the set and make it look completely different.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, when I win the lottery, and it's a question of when, not if, because you got to think positive. Film school might be my future.
Well, if you decide to play the lottery and the lottery gods are nice to you, please just
Yeah.
a little bit this way. That would be nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. I don't need much.
Yeah, I might need some production assistance. Moving on. The city. What do you guys make of the whole cityscape and the melting pot of different cultures and the Asian influence and all that?
Well, basically, it's like they took LA and they threw it 50 years in the future. I mean, that's pretty much what LA is like now, except it doesn't look as futuristic as it does in Blade Runner, obviously.
And no flying cars, apparently.
And still no flying cars. No.
Right.
When I was a kid growing up in the 80s, there was a lot of things in popular culture that were basically predicting that Japan would eventually economically take over the United States and everything would become kind of infused with Japanese culture. And
I vaguely remember that. I think that was one of the arguments in Michael Crichton's Rising Sun.
Yes, yeah, that book was all about that.
And in the movie, that really hasn't happened so much.
Yeah, I was surprised.
At least not here.
I think I looked into it, and Japan had a major economic downturn I want to say in the 90s or around 2000
Yeah,
that
something
basically
like that.
stopped that whole trend.
Yeah.
Because
I think most of Asia had a bit of a downturn.
it was specific to Asia. I think like in the 90s, like they had a huge boom, and then they had a huge bust.
Yeah, Derek.
Yeah,
The Japanese
yeah.
stock market is still down from 20 years ago. So
Yeah, so it was funny because as a kid, I was kind of like growing up, like kind of just thinking that that's what the future is going to be. Because if you look at Blade Runner and Rising Sun, and even Die Hard, because remember they were selling their company to the Japanese businessmen or something like that, if I recall correctly.
Vaguely, yeah.
And it wasn't it like Nakahama Building, something like that.
Someone who's seen Die Hard more than I have would have to.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm sure there's more examples than those three. Oh, and also the Tom Clancy novels kind of talked about that as well.
Well, and it does. You go up to Disney's Big Hero 6. You have San Francisco, which is basically they amalgamized San Francisco and Tokyo. And
But it's
still on the West Coast. Yeah, it's more contemporary, but it's kind of the same thing. The same thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think it would, possibly China could take over with that. But you have to understand, after World War II, Japan and Germany didn't have, standing armies really. So
they weren't allowed to.
They weren't allowed to have military. So what do? They put all their money into engineering and making all of their stuff better than ours, which is fine.
and don't forget the noodle bars. I'm really a big fan of noodle bars, and especially in Blade Runner. Got it. Derek, can we get noodles in the kitchen as on our menu, please? Or
yes,
ramen
noodles.
You really want him to make the ramen? We're so going down to Little Tokyo when you get out.
Yeah, definitely. So I actually like Asian food a lot. So
Me too.
The other interpretation you could take of that is that since all of the rich, famous people went off-world to the other colonies, it could be that, I didn't take it to have a racist angle in this movie, but you could say that, like all the rich white people left Earth and,
and basically left the rabble behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I believe there's a line in the movie about asking why, what's William Anderson's character, the childlike inventor? Sebastian. Yeah, like why Sebastian didn't go off world and he had a condition that didn't let him fly in the space shuttle or something like that.
This is really interesting with Sebastian. So he's the toy maker who helped design some of the replicants through Tyrell. Tyrell, so the head industrialist. And he had this disease, and I can't pronounce the name of the disease, but basically he's aging prematurely.
Is it progeria?
Melasfusins? It's on the Wikipedia page.
I think it's just a fictional disease.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's a real disease.
Yeah, it's the whole a Brad Pitt. The one movie was in.
Benjamin Button.
Yeah, but that's reversed, right? So you went from being old to young, whereas this is being young to old. And you think about that, the whole Sebastian character. Well, he's facing the same problem the replicants are facing. There's a drop dead date. There's literally a drop dead date, and it's being accelerated.
Well, his drop dead date is sooner than what most humans would be.
Yeah, and he knows it. Whereas I think most humans, we can fall dead tomorrow from some genetic thing, but we don't know. Well, most of us don't know. Whereas if you're aging, then you know that it's kind of like if your parents died young, you know that your genetics may not be the best for a long life, a long living.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many aspects of this film. I know we're gonna get lots of feedback going. Why didn't we discuss this or that? But man, call us, let us know, because it's such a great film. You get something like the interrogation scene. So you have the main baddie, Roy Batty, And no pun, no words intended. So he plays this. He's a replicant, and he's designed for combat, and he's played. He want to actually say he's the bad guy because he's going around killing people because he's trying to get to the top to kill his. Basically, spoiler alert: he's going to kill Tyrell, his maker, but he's just acting out of fear and frustration, which is so human. So when he goes to the eye doctor to try to investigate, to figure out where he came from, right? I think the eye doctor's name is Hannibal Chu. I had to look all these names up. Hannibal Chu, that's pretty funny by itself. And this is the scene where they're in this deep freeze laboratory, and Chu has this big giant puffy coat with a bunch of tubes plugged into him, right? Okay. And you have Roy Batty, which is very Aryan, very blonde hair, muscular, like you have this almost fascist look to him. And then you had the guy behind him, another replicant, Leon Kowalski, which is the guy we saw in one of the first opening scenes, who starts off the plot where he plugged and almost kills another Blade Runner by the name of Holden. Hey, Holden. That's interesting. That's a good tie-in with The Expanse. I wonder where they got the name Holden from. Yeah.
They could have gotten it from Catcher in the Rye too.
Yeah, maybe that too. Yeah. But going back to the interrogation scene, just the scene itself, you feel complete horror. So the eye doctor, Hannibal Chu, it's not going to end well for him. Mm-hmm. So you have Roy Batty being, very clinical in his interrogation up front, and then you have Leo Kowalski just creeping around the back of his laboratory, picking up things and moving things, and he reaches in and grabs a bunch of deep freeze eyeballs that Chu was working on, and he puts them on the top of his head just to play with him, and chooses. It's oh man, that's great because in terms of interrogation, just the horror and the efficiency, because they got the information they want. And the other thing about the whole Blade Runner thing is the eyes. Look at this film; everything is about eyes. A lot of things are about eyes and seeing and sight. There's several scenes where it's some sort of do with the eyes, even with Priest, which is the that Daryl Hannah character, Price, which is a pleasure model, right? Okay. Even her makeup when she was with Sebastian in the toy room in that apartment, she put black makeup across her eyes. When Roy Batty, played by Rutger
Hauer.
Thank you, and again, please don't let me say any names, guys. Just jump in, okay? When he finally kills Tyrell, he crushes his face and his eyeballs. If you look at it, there's certain scenes where, if you listen to the commentary track by Ridley Scott, things like Sean Young walking through the light in Deckard's apartment, you can see the eyes flicker almost in the reflection. It's almost robotic because that's what we're going for. You can tell what a person's all about by looking into the person's eyes. It's an old soul thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The eyes are the window to the soul.
Thanks. And where's that quote from? Do you guys know?
I have no idea.
I don't.
Well.
I have no idea.
It's a Derek Beebe original.
No, it's not.
Yeah. The other thing with the whole...
I know that much.
Well, maybe I invent time travel in the future and I go back in time and seed it throughout history. You don't know.
Oh, gods, help us if that's true.
Yeah,
that would be the only reason to invent time travel, for spite.
Is there another reason why?
No, just spite.
That reminds me of...
you may be looking for a new kitchen manager very soon, Joel. I just want you to know.
That reminds me of Wes Anderson film Life Aquatic. I love that movie. The whole thing that that's revenge. Of course, it's revenge. Okay.
I love that movie.
But I digress. Going back to the interrogation thing. So you have this scene with the eyeball guy. Within the first 20, 30 minutes of the film. But the film starts with another interrogation. The Holden basically doing this replicant tester called a Voight-Kampff test, on Leon Kowalski. And it's very much like a polygraph test. So a lie detector test, which I don't like the name, but that's, just to explain what it is. And a void comp test is designed to test emotions of the test subject. And replicants, they have a hard time showing emotion. So that's how they can tell if the person is a replicant or not. It's so technical. It's so clinical.
It's really technical. And I remember the last time I saw Blade Runner, I couldn't really tell what they were actually looking for, because it didn't. It's like I don't remember the scene very well, unfortunately. But someone just decided to be completely deadpan, it would be the same, possibly the same reaction, unless they were trying to completely shock the person they were asking questions to.
Yeah.
Unless they were the questions themselves didn't seem like the kinds of questions that would throw someone off if they were looking for someone to have some kind of emotional reaction.
Yeah.
I think it was more about the computer mind not being able to calculate irrational thoughts. Like talking about, you see a turtle on his back in the desert and you don't flip him over, you just walk away. It's kind of like, it's an irrational thought because, well, why wouldn't you? Because you could just easily flip him over and then he would be okay.
Well, this goes back to, the whole idea of a sociopath probably wouldn't flip the turtle back over either. Yeah. So, that's not just because a robot is programmed to not have emotions doesn't mean that a human could, have the same lack of emotions or just have the same lack of consideration for something. Because you wouldn't have to be a sociopath to see a turtle lying on its back and flip it back over. You just have to be someone who just doesn't care or just doesn't see that the turtle's there on its back.
Interesting. They say about 1.52% of people in Western society are psychopaths. So basically, they don't feel emotions. Oh, they don't.
Right.
They don't care about the emotions they feel. So
Right.
it's a way to defeat this test, if you're human.
Yeah.
And if you know anything,
exactly.
and if you know about anything about polygraph tests in real life, my personal opinion is that they're crackery. It's pure crackery. But when you take a polygraph, and I've taken a polygraph in real life for work purposes, you don't feel like that. You feel like it's a very, very useful tool in order to do an interrogation or an interview. Because they hook you up to this machine, you think the machine is going to basically find out if you're a liar or not, and they ask you yes and no questions. The problem is false positives. And there's ways you can control the results by trying to fake it or trying to control the way your thought process is. So it's pure cracking in terms of parts.
What you do is you put a thumbtack in the bottom of your shoe and you step on it whenever you're telling the truth so that it looks distressed along with the lies.
Yeah. Or you just eat some food from our kitchen. So.
You just have to time your answers with your stomach gurgles.
But that's the thing. All these tests can be defeated, right? You just have to figure out how to defeat it, right?
Well, I think I have not taken a polygraph test, but I would think that part of the setup for a polygraph is, as you said, you're hooked up to a whole bunch of wires and machines. So that in itself is a bit traumatic and can throw someone off if they are not, if either they are not expecting it or they are not comfortable, if they're already in a position where they're not comfortable with the situation.
And trust me, I'm a fairly I hate to say this, jaded guy, because I really enjoy realism, because that's how I see the world.
No, I never would have guessed that.
But even when I took a polygraph maybe 5-6 years ago, and even with the mindset going, this is pure crackery, it was highly stressful.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Wow. And it's funny, you have this film from 1982, right, doing the same thing but slightly different, using very clunky, very real, like historic, like not like objects you don't expect to see in science fiction as part of this, this world and this test.
Mm-hmm.
Neat. Oh, talking about technology. This is another little bone of contention I have. There's one scene when Deckard is trying to track down Zura, which is a snake replicant. And snakes is another thing we're going to talk about. And he's using this video footage of her. And he says to the computer, enhance, enhance, enhance. I swear to...
Hey, that was a high-quality image, okay?
Okay, I swear to God,
very
okay,
extremely high-quality image.
That has been the curse of forensic sciences since this movie came out. Is everyone thinks you can do this. Enhance, enhance. That's not how digital photographs work. I'm not a computer guy, but I know this is not how it works.
The pixels are only so small, and that once you get to a certain... Once you get zoomed in a certain amount, it's just going to be a whole bunch of blocks. Unless, I was thinking about this when I was looking over your notes. Yeah. Unless the computer they're using has some way of intelligently, filling in the blanks of what it is you're looking for. But still, that seems a bit contrived if you're looking for some kind of evidence.
Well, you see, in the far-flung distant...
You actually guess what it is you're looking for.
In the far-flung distant future of 2019, all of the surveillance images are done with such incredibly high resolution that the first picture you're looking at, is just the summary page, and you can keep going in and in and in and in and in because they have unlimited storage space.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's all high def.
So every picture ever taken everywhere is like a terabyte at least in size.
Yes, they just keep it up in the cloud.
So
that's bullshit.
So in other words, if I take a JPEG and I want to make a T-shirt out of it or put it on a coffee mug or a sticker, I just have to get a JPEG off the net. That would work, right?
Off the cloud.
Sure.
Okay. Interesting. Hey,
that's why there was so much.
Do that all the time.
That's why Los Angeles was so overcast and rainy in the movie, because the cloud has gotten so thick up there that it's kind of like blocking out the atmosphere.
That's not the same kind of cloud, dude.
I need a drink.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, talking about snake person. There's a lot of references for snakes. Snakes, apparently, you have these, bio snakes, which is artificially created. I think that just plays into the whole Asian thing, because you have these Eastern mysticism element to it. And when I see snakes, I think like Conan the Barbarian. You have these snake cults from out east in that world, right? Okay, and I just find it interesting that they're using these symbols that's been around thousands and thousands of years, and they incorporate it into a science fiction movie. Well,
snakes in Asian culture, they're considered very wise.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at it from a Western point of view, the traditional snake is, if you're looking, Judeo-Christian mythology, the snake is the root of all evil. But in Asian cultures, it's a symbol of wisdom, which I would hope, because I was born in the year of the snake, and I'm totally not that evil. At least I hope I'm not.
Okay, interesting.
My interpretation of it was that I kind of look at this whole movie as taking place in a kind of hell or underworld. All the good people have gone off-world to heaven, or the real world, if you will. And this is kind of like the afterlife where the damned reside. So the snake, brings forbidden knowledge in the Bible. So you could say that the replicants were innocents until they were given the knowledge of good and evil, and that's why Zora is represented by a snake, because she's one of the replicants who have gotten the knowledge of their mortality and broken the bonds of captivity.
Yes, Paradise Lost. Great.
And you could also say that Deckard's character is kind of in a purgatory as well, and over the course of the movie he realizes his nature and elevates himself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And there's also other animals in this movie that you could see, right? There's a few birds in this movie. The whole scene of the owl The owl at the very beginning at the Tyrell Corporation, and we see the owl again right after Tyrell's murder. And the owl itself is a major symbol in mythology. And
it's also owl is also a symbol for wisdom, even though I've heard that owls aren't really that smart in real life.
Yeah, I don't know any owls personally, so I don't want to say.
Me neither.
No, the whole thing too is like owls. Greek. You think Greek mythology. Owls are huge in the whole ufology, UFO business as a symbol. You see this in like Twin Peaks, for instance, to use a pop culture example. And you have that. And of course, you see the final fight scene between Roy Batty and Deckard, and the whole famous speech of Batty at the end that defines mortality to him, at least. He's holding a dove. It's neat when you can tell a story through images and symbols that's been around forever. It's almost Campbell-like, Joseph Campbell, Star Wars, George Lucas, archetypes, that type of stuff.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Hey, what do you guys make of this whole love scene or relationship between Deckard and Rachel?
It's very stereotypical, hard-boiled detective, and it's a little rapey at times too. He kind of is like forcing himself on her.
Yeah, I got that too, and I know there's a scene that they did this way not because they wanted to, it's just because it was like last minute change. I think Harrison wasn't very happy with it, but I've heard it explained that Deckard was trying to get Rachel and her programming to understand the emotions she was feeling as a replicant, and that's why Rachel finally relented and said, "Okay, you can touch me now." And once that invitation was given, then it's green light, right? I don't know. I think
I suppose you can interpret it that way.
You know women better than I do, Joel.
It's been a while, so I don't think that same scene would work nowadays. I think people are up in arms because you're right; it's a bit rapey, right? And it plays the whole consensual sexual relations stuff. Is it rape? No. Is it on the edge? Certainly. Yeah. But the other thing is that it's so sensual.
But you said that you did you? Rachel's not one of the pleasure bots though.
No, she was
a secretary.
Yeah, and a special engineer model played by Sean Young.
Okay. Yeah. So I suppose if it was if it had been one of the pleasure bots, it probably wouldn't. I mean, that's what she was made. That's would have been what she was made for. But
yeah. Oh,
again, we're splitting hairs here.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too, you can look at it, and I don't buy this argument whatsoever. But she's a replicant, therefore she has no rights. It's like the whole in human history with slaves. Slaves have no rights.
Right. Well, I mean, they that's another thing they adjust in Next Generation with the when they put Data's right to self-determination on trial.
Interesting. But the chess game between Sebastian and Tyrell. Do you guys play chess at all?
I used to.
No.
I was in the chess club in high school. I was horrible though.
Yeah, I play chess not frequently, occasionally. My brother is really good at it. I haven't played him in years, but it's a great game. And each time you see a chess game being played on film, it's because it's there to symbolizes the power plays, the game, right? You think of Game of Thrones. It's about the power play, and it's neat that Sebastian beat Tyrell in 2 moves. All right, which is actually given to him by I think Batty actually said, "Hey, this is the 2 moves to beat him." And Sebastian. Let's talk about Sebastian. So this is the guy who's small, who's he's growing older, so he has his age. Yeah, he's played by the character Willem S. Sanderson, who customers may know through the HBO TV series Deadwood, and
Newhart.
And Newhart, yeah, of course.
This is my brother Daryl. Yeah. This is my other brother Daryl.
He's a great actor, and he's almost simple. He likes playing with toys and robotics. You know,
Who doesn't like playing with toys and robotics?
yeah, but he doesn't see the real world in the sense that he's doing this with in front of replicants who ultimately is going to kill him.
Do you guys know that that actor played basically the same character in a two-parter of Batman the Animated Series, an inventor who also created artificial intelligence robots?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he played Carl Rossum in the two-parter. I forget what the robots were called, but yeah, it was a two-parter about robots gaining artificial intelligence and taking over. And and he had little toy robots in that as well. And one was Batmite that like flew up to Batman when he opened the door.
That's cool.
Oh, and it was Methuselah syndrome, by the way. I saw it on my TV on mute just now.
There you go. Great.
And he said that's why he couldn't pass the medical to get off Earth.
Oh, and that goes back the whole, the pyramid thing, right? So that the higher up you are, the better off you are. The lower down you are, the worse off you are, right? The really good people are off planet because that's higher up. And
it's a bit of genetics as well. I mean, this is kind of you see this in Gattaca, when the genetically pure. And I haven't seen all of Gattaca, but they're people are selected by virtue of how good their genes are.
Mm.
If they wear shorts?
Not those kinds of genes, dumbass.
That's a goat, dumbass.
I'll be so screwed when it comes to genes. Yeah. But even the fight scene, the final great fight scene between Roy Batty and Deckard, it starts off at the bottom, and Deckard climbs the stairs, discovers Batty. They have a big fight scene. Deckard kills Price, and it goes up and up in the building till the very final. It's actually on the roof of the building, going up and up. Again, I think Derek's saying about the whole hell, Paradise Lost thing. You can see elements of that.
Yeah, that actually works because Tyrell was at the top of the pyramid, and of course, pyramids symbolize the afterlife. That's where your body dwells when you go to the afterlife. And he was at the top of the pyramid. He was at the highest elevation on planet Earth, and then Roy Batty and Deckard ascend up through the building as they're both ascending spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
Because they both have a revelation about themselves at the end of that confrontation.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because he decides to spare Deckard, and if you go with the replicant interpretation of the film, Deckard. Well, I don't know. Would that be where he realizes it's a replicant, or is it where he gets the little paper mache?
It's a paper mache, and depending on what version of the film it is, I think most of the films, the final cut and the director's cut has that. And this is when you have Gaff, which is the other cop who's playing with him, and ultimately it's like, hey, these are implants. Your memories are implanted, which makes you a replicant, because it's a binary option. Either you are a replicant or a human. There's no third option.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, so I think I originally saw the theatrical cut with the horrible voiceover. And so I see that the director's cut came out in '92, and does that just basically take out the voiceover? What was the unicorn scene in the theatrical cut?
No, I don't think so. And I think this is a good time to just list off the different films of Blade Runner. And actually, Wikipedia has all the breakdown of all the films. Okay, I'm going to list them. How many? There's at least 8 of them out there. There's the work print, which is from 1982. There's a U.S. theatrical cut, which is also from 1982, that has 3 extra minutes. There's an international cut, the Criterion edition, which has 4 extra minutes. Fast forward 10 years to the director's cut, 1992. It's 116 minutes, so 3 minutes more than the work print. You have the final cut, which is what I have on Blu-ray. That's 117 minutes. Came out in 2007, so that definitely has the unicorn origami paper thing at the end. You have the San Diego sneak preview cut from May 1982. That's a really old cut. Oh, look, 1986. There's a U.S. broadcast cut, 114 minutes. And apparently there's a reference in a 2007 documentary to some sort of first cut that was nearly 4 hours long. I'm telling you right now, Ridley Scott has nothing on George Lucas.
Yeah, but it's not his fault that there's all these versions of studio interference.
There was tremendous problems with the financing and of this movie as well as the production. Apparently, if you listen to the commentary and you do some research, film this movie was not easy. Ridley Scott was a taskmaster. They've had tremendous problems. I read one place that Harrison Ford was nearly gone to a physical fist fight with him. It was not a good scene apparently during the shoot.
We must suffer for our art.
Yes, and make others suffer as well, apparently.
Yes, because art is a dictatorship. Yes, we know. Yeah. Interesting. So that's the different versions of the film. Let's talk about we were talking a bit about the fight scene. The final fight scene between Deckard and Roy Batty at the top of this building. And was it the Bradbury building in Los Angeles where they shot it?
Yes.
Do you know what building I'm talking about? It's the Bradbury building. Is it a famous building?
It used. It's not there anymore. I think they tore it down.
That's disconcerting.
I know.
Oh. When did Deckard realize that he's a replicant? And why did Roy Batty save him? Because he's about to slip off this iron beam. And in one last act of defiance, Deckard knows he's going to die. He's outmatched. He's going to slip off. It's his time. It is literally his drop dead date. He knows it, right? So he sees brutality going, okay, fine. I'm going to be a warrior. I'm going to spit in Roy Batty's eye. So he spits at him. And at that point, Batty reaches down, saves him, lifts him up to the rooftop. He crawls against a wall. And then Roy Batty sits down.
No, I'm wrong, Joel. It's not. It hasn't been torn down. It's a cultural landmark, so it's not. The Bradbury Building's still around.
Does it mention that Blade Runner was shot there?
Yes. Also, they shot Wolf there.
Interesting. I'll put that on my to-do list when I go to LA next February.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, guys, we have to say this. The 3-line speech that Batty says before he dies, it's famous. It's very powerful stuff. And apparently the actor whose name I can't pronounce, come on, Derek, Dutch guy.
Rutger Hauer.
Thank you.
Rutger Hauer?
Rutger
Hauer.
He actually reworked the lines, right before filming that scene, and Scott liked it and kept it. Okay, so Derek, since you did the whole introduction about the kitchen thing, when I asked you about the kitchen at the top of the show, do you want to read these 3 lines?
Sure, let me just find it.
Yeah, it's in the show notes.
Yeah, I know.
But I want you to read it as knowing that you're about to die. Your clock's up, okay? And
My what's
your
up?
Clock, your clock, right? Your best before date is dead.
These are your dying words, Derek.
Okay, and so you have to feel angst. Because you don't know what
you
comes
actually
next.
want me to act?
Yes, okay. Get into this mind of Roy Batty, who's this killer. He's a combat android replicant. And he's seen a lot. And he's experienced a lot. And he wants to live, but he can't. And he's fearful of what comes next because there probably isn't anything next. Ready for it? Show some emotions.
This is embarrassing. Okay.
Go.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I've watched sea beams glitter in the darkness near Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain. Time to die.
Only if it was true.
Give the man a fake Oscar.
Yes. Oscars. That's in LA. That's what Sunset Boulevard. Where do they have the Oscars?
The Oscars?
It's across from the...
At Hollywood and Highland.
Ah, right. Okay.
It's,
Yeah.
the Kodak Theater.
Yeah. Okay. Derek, your ticket's in the
I
mail.
used to work across the street from there.
Yeah, that's where the Disney, was it Chinese theater?
Chinese theater is there too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I walked past it. I haven't actually been in that. That's on my to-do list too. There you go.
Did you guys know that the 1998 Kurt Russell sci-fi movie Soldier is an unofficial sequel to Blade Runner?
Yes.
It's written by the same person,
No.
and I believe it references Tannhauser Gate as well.
Yeah, I've read that earlier today. I haven't seen that film, but
Me
apparently,
neither.
It's not great, but
apparently the budget was like horrendous. But yeah, so this is a good time. Let's talk about the legacy of Blade Runner as a film, because you can see it in different films since then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we already mentioned like Battlestar Galactica, the reimaging of it, reimage version of it. You have Soldier. You know, there's things like Enemy, Ghost in the Shell. That's anime. The Japanese
Anime, yeah.
Okay.
Ghost in the Shell, Armitage the Third. Yeah, those are really good examples of robots or androids used in sci-fi.
I find
in anime.
I find with Blade Runner, it came out around the same time Cyberpunk was being basically being launched as a subgenre of science fiction, and with Cyberpunk, you have this film noir thing going on. You have corrupt states and corrupt corporations. You have a lot of street level stuff happening, but with Cyberpunk, it's technology. Blade Runner is interesting because it's related, especially in its field, but it's biopunk because we're talking about androids and engineering. And you see almost any science fiction nowadays, if there's some sort of underworld or street level, more pessimistic version of the future, you can see the influence of Blade Runner.
Yeah, it definitely if you're going for something like that's more seedy, yeah, you would there's definitely some influence from Blade Runner there.
Yeah. You mentioned Gattaca, which I haven't seen. Apparently, that's very influenced by Blade Runner.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Yeah.
I saw it when it came out, but I don't remember it well.
Yeah. Like if you just do a simple Google search, it says a bunch of things like films I don't know much about, such as A Dark City from 1998.
Oh, that's good.
Oh yeah, that was very Blade Runner.
Yeah.
That kind of hold dark, depressing, gritty urban environment.
Well, it also has that whole your memories are not your own type thing.
Yeah.
Your emotions are not your own. Your thought because they're constantly being reprogrammed every night.
Interesting. And Strange.
And those are humans.
That explains a lot about my life. Other films. Strange Days, 1995. Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
Again, it's this whole Hollywood meets Cyberpunk meets Blade Runner business. Okay. I'm a big William Gibson fan. My brother's a huge William Gibson fan. He's one of the authors that helped create the whole cyberpunk movement. He's based out of Vancouver, I believe. This article I'm reading, it says his famous work is Neuromancer, and it says that the article says it's legend, but halfway through seeing Blade Runner, and this is while he was writing his novel, he said that the movie was it was too much like what was happening inside his head, which was he imagining for his book Neuromancer.
Wow.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is cool.
So,
great minds and all.
Yeah. So of course, anything you read on the internet is going to be true, but it's a nice story.
Of course it is.
Yeah. And you see other things. You see, the whole combination between sci-fi and film noir. Minority Reports, iRobot, all that good stuff. Definitely influenced by Blade Runner.
Yeah, I would say that he decided to save Deckard at the last second because he was kind of having he decided that, there's no point in killing this guy. I'm going to do a good deed before I die. And when Deckard listens to him give the speech, he kind of realizes, this wasn't a bad guy. He was ultimately a victim, and he saved my life. And not all replicants are bad.
Oh, Derek, let me ask you this: when you watched the film, I know you watched it recently. When you saw the fight between Deckard and Roy Batty, who were you cheering for?
Who was I
Cheering for who?
rooting
Yeah,
for?
yeah.
Who are you rooting for?
Deckard, because he was scared and injured. I mean, Batty is definitely ultimately a victim in this of the system, and I mean he's literally dying as the fight is going on, and he's fighting his own body, trying to keep himself moving. So I mean, it's not like he's. I mean, he is kind of sadistically stalking Deckard, but in the end, he does save his life. So I kind of took it as not that he was trying to murder him, but that he was trying to teach him a lesson.
Yeah, you think about that. Deckard, here he is, a state-sponsored assassin who's trying to kill Roy Batty. His moral underpinning is not particularly strong. If anything, he's a bad guy in that scene.
Yeah, you could interpret it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the joys of this film is that there's so many ways you can interpret it. Each time I watch it, I think of things differently.
And when he dies, he releases a dove of peace.
Yeah. Yet, maybe perhaps Batty saved Deckard at the last moment because he respected him as a warrior. Maybe it's a whole war.
Or maybe he realized he's a replicant. Because really, I mean, the only way for Deckard to logically survive getting smacked around by these robots the whole movie is that he himself is a robot. Because the guy in the prologue, Holden, he gets shot right off the bat and he's put down. But throughout the entire movie, we see Deckard being throttled and grabbed and punched and thrown by these people, and yet he's still running around.
Yeah, but he's Harrison Ford. Come on.
Yeah.
Why?
And what does Edward James Olmos say to him when he arrives at the end? He said, "You've done a man's job, sir."
Yeah.
It was kind of like another hint that you're really a robot, but and Gaff looks down on him. But here he's like, all right, you actually got up to the level of human with this one.
Yeah. Well, both human and replicants bleed in this movie. They both bleed red blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that happens in other shows that involve androids. I mean, Westworld, the androids bleed. I think in Arbitrage the Third, the androids definitely bleed. Yeah. Some of them get hacked to pieces.
Oh, I forgot this part. And then Gaff says to him, "It's too bad she won't live, but then again, who does?" Which again, to me, means that he's saying, she's not really alive, you're not really alive, you're both replicants. And that's the moment when he realizes, oh, I'm a replicant. Mm. And then seeing the little unicorn figure, that's just confirming it.
Yeah, and the whole unicorn as a symbol is a quite interesting choice made by Ridley Scott. And I know you listen to commentaries. He talks about force and the myth behind it and all that. But you look at it, uniforms don't exist.
Right. So they symbolize the fact that their memories are fantasy. They're fake.
Yeah. Well, saying that, I haven't seen a unicorn, so I have to rely on people who hasn't seen it. But if anyone has seen a unicorn in real life, please let us know. Yeah. It's the quote from Tyrell when he meets Roy Batty and right before he's murdered by Roy Batty, and they're talking about this. And I want to read this quote because I think the first part is speaks to the whole existential angst. Doesn't matter if you live short or long; it's how you live that counts. So Tyrell says, "The light that burns twice as bright burns half as long, and you have burned so very, 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 very brightly, Roy. Look at you. You're the prodigal son. You're quite a prize." And it's a line, the light that burns twice as bright burns half as long. Wow. It means that if you're really aware of your own mortality, it makes you live, I don't know, better or more intense. That's a really...
Possibly, or just if you're, I mean, you could think of, celebrities who have died, who have risen to fame and died young. That's kind of the same idea.
Yeah, it's the whole Jim Morrison. It's better to
Jim Morrison, James Dean.
It was Def Leppard. It was the one song. It's better to burn out than to fade away.
Yeah.
That line always stuck with me as well. In fact, in my sci-fi series, the people who have superpowers, they have half the lifespan of a normal person, and it's precisely because of that line. The light that burns twice as bright burns half as long.
Yeah.
You realize, Joel, that if we keep doing this podcast, he's just going to give us the entire plot of his sci-fi series, and someone's just going to steal it.
Yeah, that'll be a shame.
Well, it's like 150 episodes, so that would take a while.
Yeah, well. We're going to do publishing next week. Actually, we are.
Right.
Right, moving on. So this film, Blade Runner 2049, is being released October 6th. What do you guys make of that?
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to see it while it's in theaters, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it at some point.
I'm quite excited because the director is the same fellow who did the Arrival.
Arrival.
Yeah, Dennis Villeneuve.
Villanueva.
And he's a French-Canadian director, and I really like his stuff. And he's up and coming, and he's very, very strong when it comes to images and the visuals.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm super curious about is obviously this is a Harrison Ford who has aged 30 years since the previous story. So if he is a replicant, do replicants age, or is this sequel gonna, establish that he was human all along? Because that would really disappoint me, because to me the movie only works if he is a replicant. That's kind of like the whole point of it. So if they just make him human, to me that's gonna be a huge detracting factor retroactively for the original movie.
Well, replicants could be programmed to age too.
Yeah, I hope that's what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, Data is programmed to age more slowly than a normal human, but it's the same concept. Data in Next Gen is also programmed to age.
They established that?
I believe so. I know he can, change his hair color and stuff.
Well, I remember in All Good Things in the flash forwards, he just kind of had fake white in his hair.
Yeah.
But he chose to grow his hair like that.
Uh-huh.
But I think, we were talking about inheritance. Yeah, but again, we were talking about inheritance, and Data's mom was programmed to age and eventually die after a normal what in the 24th century would be a normal human lifespan.
I don't remember that episode at all, and I think you're making it up, quite frankly.
I think that's the lore.
It's season 7, dude. Go watch it.
Yeah, moving back to the on topic of this episode. So, listen, I read some articles. I don't want to spoil the new movie coming out, because there's a few things that we know through the trailers and some of the marketing release that will speak to the whole, Deckard, is he human or is he replicant idea. But there's some really good name actors in this film. Ryan Gosling. Well, look, that's another Canadian. He's from Ontario. Like Robin Wright is in this movie. House of Cards, Princess Bride, a whole whack of things, right? Okay, and she's great. I'm sorry that she's divorced her husband, Sean Penn. That's terrible, but still, Robin Wright.
That was a while ago.
I know. I'm not sure what's happened with her. Yeah, and
she was in some Amazon movie lately.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Something. I know. I know it was a wonder to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Blade Runner 2049. So one of the same screenwriters is the same. So Hampton Fancher's back, and he wrote the screenplay with Micah Green. So.
And Ridley Scott is not directing, but he is involved, right?
Yeah.
He's still producing it.
Yeah, I think he's involved somehow.
Because for a while he was supposed to direct it, but then he dropped out.
Yeah. We haven't talked about music. Because, man, the soundtrack from the original Blade Runner is amazing, with Vangelis.
Mm-hmm.
I have a copy of that, and it's great. And Vangelis is a great composer who's in his 70s right now, I think. Amazing. But the new one, Blade Runner 2049, it is Hans Zimmer who's doing the soundtrack.
It was also rather prolific.
Yeah, Black Hawk Down, whack of other stuff.
The Batman trilogy.
Yeah. Also, Blade Runner 2049. I read it's purposely R-rated. So, I expect a lot of deaths and probably some sexual content.
Probably a whole lot of violence.
Yeah, that might be a curse word or two.
Well, I mean, the original Blade Runners are rated too, so that actually fits.
Maybe we'll get to see Ryan's Gosling.
No,
Oh, God.
I don't.
Well, you don't want to see it, Carrie?
No, I really don't.
You're the woman on the show.
Oh, God.
And that is a argument why.
Yeah, moving on. Okay.
You're the one who's fascinated with this.
I mentioned it in passing.
Right. The one little plot point that's been teased already in the new movie and has been mentioned in the original one is the Great Blackout. And I'm talking about Ryan Gosling. Well, what is the Great Blackout?
I have no idea.
That was in the trailer?
Yeah, it's one of the shorts we'll talk about, but it's been mentioned in some articles.
I didn't hear that.
So in the commentaries, Ridley Scott mentioned it as well in the original. It's not something they actually use in the dialogue, I believe. I think it got cut out. But it's when there's no power. So what happens? It's like the Great Blackout of like 2003 on the East Coast. You know, it begs more information. It raises such other questions. What is a Great Blackout? What was the consequences? How did it affect the power relationship, the power structure? And no pun intended, power structure?
And was it an EMP attack by a hostile power, or was it just a failure of the infrastructure?
Or who knows? Was it did it allow replicants to escape? Are we talking about Spartacus and the Great Slave Uprising? To use an analogy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And and what's really neat is Denis Villeneuve has released several different shorts for Blade Runner before the release on October 6th. He's not directing these shorts, and the shorts are like 6 minutes long or 8 minutes long. So there's 3 of them. 2 of them have been released on this recording date. A third one is going to be released only on this Crunchyroll anime site. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be a Japanese anime short. But the other 2 is on YouTube right now.
Cool.
And it's really cool. So you have 2036 Nexus Dawn and 2048 Nowhere to Run. So these shorts takes place shortly before the new movie in the timeline.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have to check those out.
Stop what you're doing right now. Go on YouTube and watch these 2. It's really cool. Talking about the new movie, we forgot one of the persons who are actually in it. I know this guy is, how shall I put it? You either like him or don't. Jared Leto? Am I saying
Leto?
Yeah.
Leto?
Yeah.
Jared Leto?
Yeah, the guy who played Joker,
Yeah.
right, in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Right, okay?
Him.
So he spoiler alert, he plays a bad guy. He plays basically a manufacturer of replicants. But he's blind, going back to the whole eye thing and sight. Mm-hmm. See, you have these connections, these threads from the 1982 movie to the 2017 movie.
Right.
I can't wait to see all the other threads that will be on film.
Yeah. Actually, when I was checking IMDb, Edward James Olmos is also coming back for this.
Oh, yeah? Oh, nice.
Also came back for it. Yeah. So,
I gotta say,
same character.
Recording this podcast has really raised my excitement level for the sequel.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Because before I was like, yeah, I'm going to see it, but I wasn't really giving any thought to it. But now I definitely am.
All right. And the other thing, too, is that every movie nowadays have its own website and social media. But go check out the BladeRunnerMovie.com website for information on the new movie. So that's BladeRunnerMovie.com. It's neat to see the marketing stuff beforehand. I know some people don't like to go and try to avoid spoilers, but sometimes the visuals are just amazing.
Yeah.
Well, any last thoughts about Blade Runner, its legacy, and Blade Runner 2049?
I don't think so. I think that's. I mean, I don't have any other thoughts right now, other than I do want to see the movie at some point. Yeah. definitely.
I know I'll be in New York City in Manhattan for New York Comic Con. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull it off or not, but I might.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah. Oh, I might go
yes,
to a
that's right.
bar or two. I haven't decided yet. Right. So to tease next week's episode, we're going to have a special guest on next week. Published author by name of Randall Graham. He has published his first work called Before Life by ECW Press. And in the interest of full disclosure, Randall Graham is a law professor and lawyer out of Western University in London, Ontario, Canada. And he used to be a former prof of mine, and he's a friend of mine. And so you have a law prof who's really highly intelligent. Like, this guy's like top drawer stuff. And he's written this absurd Before Life, Terry Pratchett influenced novel. So it's going to be good. We're going to talk to him about his book and about publishing and all that good stuff, and how you can do one thing and write and have works published at nighttime as a night job. Isn't it
Nice?
So maybe you can help Derek out with his whole creative writing endeavors.
Maybe I can ride his
Maybe.
coattails to success.
Hey, I'm looking out for you, man. Yeah, I'm trying to get all these people on. Hell, his publisher might actually be, his editor, I should say, might be Sean as well. We'll see what happens with that. But in the meantime, you can follow the SciFi Pubcast on Twitter. Please like our Facebook page, because we need to feel like people like us, like they really like us. And please, 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 please leave some iTunes reviews. We've got a couple, which is very great to see. And I discovered this week, for some strange reason, iTunes do their reviews regionally. So if you're in Canada, you can see it through the Canada iTunes store, but not in the States, and vice versa. It's quite annoying. But iTunes is important to leave reviews because it's very helpful for people to find our little establishment. That's why we are always on about, please leave us a review. Yeah. And let us know what we're doing and how, if you like the show, what we can do better, what you don't like about the show, if you have any complaints about the food from the kitchen or the bar service, send us an email. Our email address is management@scifipubcast.space. Yes, space is our domain name. I did that. I like that. And we're looking for feedback. As for our own personal Twitter handles, Carrie, where can people find you?
You can find me at Carrie Blackfire42. That's KERI Blackfire42.
And Derek, if people want to avoid you, where can they go and hide?
You cannot go to @DerekJBB on Twitter.
Right. Excellent. Thanks. And we'll see you next time because it's closing time. You guys have any last thoughts?
As I always say to our customers, it's too bad you'll get food poisoning, but then again, who doesn't?
I will send the Ewoks to go have a chat with Derek.
Somehow I think the Ewoks will get into the stew. Okay. Right.
They're heavily armed.
Yeah.
That's short.
I still think Derek is from the fifth dimension, so that probably a close. Okay, guys, customers, thank you for listening. We really do appreciate that, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Music provided courtesy of Logan Rathbone. Podcast logo by Juren. Copyrighted Joe Welch. Listen responsibly, and we can't wait for your next visit to our fine establishment. Cheers.